two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bustler, but everybody else in between. A Monday Night Meltdown has begun. Let's do this thing on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM, Channel 159. We got a lot of stuff to break it down. We've got Major League Baseball, as Major League Baseball's hottest team is looking for another W right now as we speak. The Toronto Blue Jays up 8-4 in the top of the ninth inning. They were up 8-1. White Sox have been chipping away. Blue Jays looking for their ninth straight victory. And the Blue Jays haven't lost since Michael Kay, New York Yankee play-by-play voice and local hack, said that, the Toronto Blue Jays are starting a first-place team. They're just not. Well, evidently they are, Michael. Evidently they are. And in fact, they have not lost a game since you called them out. And that was classic bulletin board material, right? Like, you don't play for the Yankees, bro. So, don't talk about their opponents like that, because the players are the one that has to deal with it. Similar situation, Drake used to always, talk smack to visiting NBA players sitting courtside and stuff. And, Raptor players would tell him, yo, bro, we've got to deal with this. You're the one that talks. Yeah, we've got to deal with it after. So, evidently, the Blue Jays do look like a first-place team right now. They're rolling and pretty wild. Last week, if you recall, we talked about it. The Toronto Blue Jays were plus 650, after the first or second game against the Yankees. They're now plus 140 coming into tonight. And after another win, they're going to be even less right now. They adjust on a nightly basis. The Blue Jays are looking to add another half game to their lead right now. A lot of baseball left, though. We'll get into the divisions. George Kurt's going to join us later. We got our boy Mo Cott, Ray Jaretta, Cam Stewart in the house. So we'll talk Major League Baseball. I got a late night bet here. We're hitting the WNBA tonight. WNBA. In fact, this thing tipped off right away. So we're on the Dallas Wings plus 6 points. We got the over 163.5, and I took Paige Becker's over 19.5 points scored. Their big score for Dallas isn't playing. And, if you recall, we've talked about this before, and I said, if Paige Becker's was if the team was built around Paige, like they would be better and they would score. And the thing is, they got like a pure score. They're not a good team, but they got a player that drops like 25 a game, and she wants the ball, right? So she's not there. That's why Paige is going off for all these points right now. They just got to figure out the right balance. But Paige Beckers is a badass. Everybody talks about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, just sort of became the one, right? Like right place, right time, just for whatever reason, people gravitated towards Caitlin Clark. But I think Paige Beckers is better than Caitlin Clark. Like Paige Beckers is better all around. I think she's just better. Nothing against Caitlin. Caitlin's awesome, but and also the thing is, Paige is not like Caitlin. Like Caitlin likes being the villain, right? Like Caitlin plays it up. Like I know her fan base want to make her a victim all the time and stuff, but she talks a lot of smack on the court to people, Caitlin Clark. There's a reason why they don't like her. It's not just that they're all jealous, right? Like she's kind of a jerk to them, right? I'll do whatever the F I want. Like she talks like, she says crazy things to people on the court. And it's like, listen, girl, you really haven't accomplished anything, right? Like, yeah, you're popular. All right. You know what I mean? But there's a difference between like winning and being popular, right? Like she didn't win in college. She hasn't won in the WNBA, but she talks a lot, right? And Paige is the opposite, right? Paige doesn't talk smack. Paige is always like, oh, give everybody else credit before me that was in this league, right? Like Paige plays it differently. So the media, you know what I mean? Like Paige isn't represent the white base. Like, you know what I mean? The white people love Caitlin Clark. They hate Angel Reese, pretty simple. But the same people don't feel the same way about Paige because Paige she's not like Caitlin, right? Like, so she's not going to get the publicity, but she's 19.5 tonight. I think she can get there. We played the over 163.5. It's 168.5 in game right now. You get 7.5 with the Wings. So it's 9-6 for Phoenix right now. 8-4 in the Blue Jay game. Dodgers get beat up tonight. They're getting routed again. It's 9-1 right now. We're going into the bottom of the 8th inning in Brewtown. Red Sox up 9-3 on the Rockies. Arizona and San Diego tied at 1 already, top of second. Marlins up on the Reds 5-1. Royals drilling the Pirates 9-2 right now. Guardians 6-5 over the Stros. We're at the top of the 7th inning there. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Philadelphia and San Francisco. All these games already started tonight. We don't have any late starts on the diamond, just the WNBA game that just started. Texas are up 2-1 on the Angels right now. Top of the 2nd inning. Halos are plus 170. The Rangers are minus 220. The in-game total is currently 9.5. So we'll keep our eye on that. NBA Summer League, the Vegas part hasn't started. Like, what do they do? Like Utah or Orlando and all that type of stuff. But the Summer League has started per se, but they dropped the NBA win totals today. So we got NBA win totals to take a look at. We'll get you caught up to date with, the prevalent teams or whatever team you want to get caught up with. We could talk about. You can fire off in the chat or at X at SportsRage. And we're broadcasting live on X right now, as well as SiriusXM Channel 159, numerous outlets, including Roku. Shout out to everybody joining us on Roku. But, yeah, NBA win totals have been posted, and you've got some high ones and you got some low ones. And, in fact, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the highest win total of any team since, the 2018 Golden State Warriors. We're checking in at 62.5. There's 63.5 as numerous books have posted their win totals, and they're all kind of the same, but there's a difference, like one game here or there with some teams depending on the book. The lowest total are the Utah Jazz, and Utah are listed as 18.5 everywhere. 18.5. It's the lowest win total in 10 years in the association. If the Utah Jazz can get to 19 wins, you win your bet. Wow. Right. Thing is, Utah are going to want to tank. They're going to try to get that kid that's playing at BYU this year. It hasn't played yet with DeSoma. Hasn't played yet. It's the first $5 million a year college basketball player, NIL. The BYU Cougars have money now, right? This NIL stuff, people say, oh, it's not fair, the NIL to some teams. Well, it's also opened up the window for some teams and we're going to be able to get players before. And BYU are throwing big money around. They've got a 5-star quarterback that they're paying big money to. But the basketball player, Like, nobody's made $5 million for 1 year before to play college basketball, but they're paying this kid to go to BYU this year. I think part of it is you can't have sex and you can't drink alcohol. I'd need $5 million to go there as well. I'd be like, yeah, considering you guys, you got some pretty strict rules. And that's the thing with to play at BYU. You don't have to be a Mormon. You don't have to convert and become a Mormon or anything like that, but you have to live by their rules while you're there. So you got to live by the Mormon rules, even though you're not a Mormon when you're there. You can't drink alcohol. Hell, I know you can't drink soda. You can't drink caffeine. You can't have sex. I'm sure there's a lot of other things you can't do, but you can get paid, as they'll give you $5 million to play for the basketball team. Thing is, the kid's from Utah. Because you're wondering, well, how the hell did he end up at, like, BYU if he's, like, the best college basketball, like, prospect? Well, because he's from Utah and his parents thought it was a good idea that he stayed at home at a not, like, crazy school. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
All right, let's roll. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. The Monday Night Meltdown has begun. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. The Blue Jays and the White Sox game has just come to a close. The Blue Jays win their 9th in a row, and they haven't lost a game since Michael Kay said they're just not a first-place team. They're just not. Well, evidently they are. And now they got an even bigger lead for first place in the American League East, as the Blue Jays are a freight train right now, trying to keep this thing going into the weekend. It's All-Star All-Star week next week. And if there's one, that's the one thing I'll say, is that if there's one team that, like, you wouldn't want to take, like, 5 days off right now, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, as hot as they are, you want to keep this thing going. So if you're the Jays, you try to keep this thing going into the weekend, and you got to hope that when you start next week again, that you can find the groove that you're in. But this team is in a groove right now. Crushing the baseball, getting contributions 1 through 9. The pitching has been solid. And what's really amazing about the Blue Jays is they have a bunch of dudes that, like, nobody's ever freaking heard of doing this. Like, who the hell is Luke's? Like, you know, Luke's batting leadoff. Guy hits a home run. Yeah, Lucas. Yeah, Luke.
I thought it was Luke. First time I'm like, who's this Luke's guy, too? Like, he's amazing. He's good.
You know, how do you spell his name? I don't think it's Lucas.
Yeah.
I think it's Lukus type thing.
It's Lucas, though, but
Lucas.
it's spelled Luke's. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's one of those names. Yeah.
You know, they got a guy Straw. It's like, who's this Straw guy? Like, you know what I mean? There's some Straw dude at the back of the lineup.
Straw. Yeah, he's good.
Addison Barger's making a name. People are finding out who Addison Barger is because every day he's making plays and he's hitting home runs. But like, just like I said, like the bunch of dudes that, like, nobody, you know what I mean? Like, they're like the antithesis of a fantasy team. You'd have to be a real fantasy stud to, like, be on top of all these Blue Jay players. But they're grooving. They're cruising right now. And it doesn't matter who you beat. You got to beat who you play. And the Jays win another one tonight. It's amazing, though, Cam, how the number has changed. They went from 11-12 to 1 before the year started. They kind of lingered around there for the most part early, like 8-1, 10-1. Blue Jays were like 16-21 for the third year in a row. And this, like, did not appear to be in the Blue Jays' future. But here we are now. Last week, they were plus 650 midweek against the Yankees. I think we checked after the Canada Day win or after the second win against the Yankees, they were plus 650. Coming into tonight, they were like plus 140, plus 150, depending on the book, and we'll get you the updated number. My guess is they're going to be like plus 100 after tonight's win. So the value is completely gone, Cam, with the Toronto Blue Jays to win the division now.
It is, Gabe, but they just keep on winning and winning in ways that they used to lose. Like the Angels series, all wins by 1 run, and they used to lose those games. And then the White Sox took 2 out of 3 in Toronto. I'm like, here's the opener on the road after sweeping the Yanks. They go in there and they beat the Angels. They sweep them, and then they win this game too, the opener. They just keep on rolling. You talk about it, a different guy every night. The pitching's been good. Barrios was strong, and I don't know what to say. It's just crazy right now. You're right. It's tough that the All-Star break's coming, but you have winnable games against the Chicago White Sox, and then you play the Athletics after this. So hopefully they can go 4-2, 5-1, and just keep this train rolling.
All right, you can get a plus 140 right now, guys, on the Jays still at FanDuel. The Yankees are plus 105. The Blue Jays are plus 140. I don't know. Like, you know what? I think FanDuel, we just put it up. I think they were plus 155. So they did move at 15 cents. Bet365 came into tonight at plus 140, and they're pretty stingy. So I would imagine they have a lot of Toronto bettors, people like Cam. So I imagine they're going to post like a plus 120 in the morning.
Yeah, just try to rip everyone off. Yeah,
it's like the Maple Leafs. You're never getting a good price with the Maple Leafs at Bet365. Like,
no, their golf numbers are like getting real stingy lately. I'm shopping around. I'm like, wow, they used to be good. I'm like, too many people betting on the book, Gabe, but I really don't care. It's like the Jays live tonight. You talked about it early, 1 run. You know what I mean? It's nothing. And in the old days, like, oh, here we go, we're going to lose. And then all of a sudden they put up crooked numbers. And it's just really nice to watch this team. And Schneider doesn't have to worry as much. The guys in the bullpen, you can do a lot more things. You can take Barrios out a little bit early, save like 20 pitches with him. And things are really good right now. Let's just keep the train rolling.
So looking at, there's different numbers like, wow, what a discrepancy here. So FanDuel has the Toronto Blue Jays at 22-1 to win the World Series. Mm-hmm. That's where, like, so now this is where, like, we've lost the value for the division. So if you're out there and you're, all right, you want to get a piece of this Jays team, they're really not getting a lot of respect in the bigger picture here. Yeah, the division, because the Yankees are losing, they're winning. So, like, they paid attention, but in the big picture, the Dodgers are the favorites at plus 210. Like, I'm a diehard Dodger fan. There's no value with the Dodgers at plus 210. The Detroit Tigers are plus 750. I think the Tigers are good, but I also think they're a little bit a byproduct of the bad division that they play in. Like, who do they, you know what I mean? They play, They don't play great teams. It's a mediocre division. So they're racking up wins there. Houston Astros are right now plus 850, and it's pretty much like clockwork on a yearly basis. If I had to say right now who's going to win the American League, I would say the Houston Astros would win the American League. The Philadelphia Phillies are plus 850 to win the World Series. The Yankees, there's no way in hell the Yankees are winning the World Series. Like, the Yankees are going to be lucky to make the playoffs when it's all said and done. Like, they're going to be like, if the Jays keep winning and the Rays win, like, I don't think the Yankees are suddenly going to turn this thing around. Like, they're not that good. Like, Kay can talk all he wants about the Blue Jays not being, you know who's on the first place team, Michael? The New York Yankees. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you do their games. You ever seen them play defense? So, like the Yankees are going to be battling, in my opinion. I think they're going to fade a bit, and, like, they'll be battling for a wild card. So, 9-1's insanity to win the World Series for the Yankees. The Mets aren't winning the World Series. They're 11-1. Cubs 12-1. But FanDuel has the Blue Jays right now. Big drop-off, down at 22-1. That's a pretty good number because I'm looking at Bet365 right now, and they've got the Toronto Blue Jays at 14-1.
Ooh.
FanDuel to win the American League. The Blue Jays are plus 800. Bet365 to win the American League. The Toronto Blue Jays are plus 650. So, like, you know what I mean? Pretty. These are some different numbers all over the place. The thing with the Jays is, can they really do this in the playoffs? Like, the Jays historically in past years when they get to the playoffs, they tighten up and they find ways to lose.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and the Monday Night Meltdown continues. Detroit Tigers win again. Speaking of hot teams, the Tigers having a great season so far this year. And would be old school, like in the remember like the early 80s, Blue Jays, mid-80s, Blue Jays, Tigers playing in the playoffs at Tiger Stadium. And, the Royals, the Yankees, just sort of like, it's like a throwback. But the American League, the situation is interesting, and it really could be an interesting playoff tournament when it's all said and done. But there's a lot of baseball left. And as hot as the Jays are right now, you know they've got a losing streak around the corner coming. The Rays are the interesting one to me. I don't believe in the Yankees much, but the Rays are interesting to me. They just find a way. It doesn't like whatever is like stacked against Tampa, it doesn't seem to matter. Like, what? Oh, our stadium. Oh, we don't have any fans. Oh, we have to go on the road. Like, oh, we don't have any players. We lost everybody. Like, it doesn't seem to matter for them. So I'm not so sure the fact that they have to play so many games on the road in the second half of the season is really going to bother them that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, like it's baseball. Home field advantage really doesn't mean all that much in baseball. Teams that win at home, like, they have good home records because they're good teams, essentially. It's like not because of the stadium or the crowd or something like that. So we'll break this down. We'll get into all the division prices. George Kurtz will join us in a couple of minutes. Another thing that cashed again over the weekend, and it's getting ridiculous now with these PGA tournaments going to a playoff. I've been talking about it for like a month now, Cam, and every week I'm like, you know what? It's plus 300, it's plus 280, it's plus 320, and 3 of the last 4 have gone to a playoff. That's the way to bet this stuff. And I said last week, too, and Brady agreed, you know what I mean? Like the bigger events and when they're stacked with the superstars, there's less chance of it being a playoff, right? The course is hard. Someone's going to pull away. Other guys aren't going to do well. But when you get these easy courses, Cam, where everybody's going to put a big score up, it's boring to go to a playoff. No one's going to pull away. They all have these super low scores, right? So no one's really going to, like, it's not hard. So no one, you know what I mean? Everybody's good at it. You get to these majors and stuff like that, it's hard. So there's only like 6 guys that won't choke or something, you know? These easy ones, everybody just puts up a big score. So I'm not surprised we keep on having these playoffs all the time, but it keeps cashing.
Great call by you, and I agree totally. That whole tournament, from round 1 to the final round, there was 22 guys within 2 strokes of the lead. We talked about it. That playoff could have had 4 or 5 guys in it, if not for just little simple mistakes. The only tournament, as you mentioned, that has not gone to a playoff has been the U.S. Open. Let's remember, J.J. Spaun went birdie like with a crazy putt down the stretch, or that could have been a playoff as well. So you're absolutely correct. This week we have the Scottish Open, which the cream of the crop will be there. It's one of the best fields of the year heading into the British Open Championship. But there's another degenerate, like kind of low-grade tournament that will be in there. And don't be surprised if that one goes to a playoff with guys like Theodor Bjornsson. And shout out to Brady Cannon, Gabe. Like, he had Kevin, don't call me Patrick Roy. And this guy almost was there at like 100-1. He finished like in the top 5. So Brady made some great picks. And I know a lot of people had Grillo, but Campbell wins this week. It's amazing to me. Campbell he's either, Gabe, on the leaderboard, and he's won twice with only 5 top, like 5s and 10s. Other than that, miscut. He's an all-or-nothing guy. Went to the University of Illinois and won in Illinois with his friends and family there in a playoff against Emiliano Grillo.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's like the second time this guy's won in like 6 weeks or something, isn't it? Like, he won like last month.
He beat Poltergeist. That time he hit a tree and it was going to go out of bounds, but instead of going out of bounds, it bounced right into the fairway, and he beat Potgieter in a playoff there, the guy who won the week before. So, yeah, Campbell's one of these guys. It's like he's all or nothing, and he's a very kind of a throwback player. He hits it nowhere, but he's very, very good. He keeps it in play, and his putting's very, very good. He's got a great short game.
WNBA check right now. The Phoenix Mercury lead the Dallas Wings 33-23. Early in the second quarter, 8 minutes left in the second quarter, 33-23. In-game total is currently 174.5. It closed at 163.5. And the Dallas Wings are now getting 12.5 points. They were getting 6 at tip-off. They're now getting 12.5. They're down 10. I don't know. It feels a little high, but they are without like their top scorer tonight. But Paige Beckers is playing. NBA Summer League action. Memphis lead Utah 54-49. I haven't played the NBA Summer League. I will when we get to Vegas later in the week. I'll start to dabble in this stuff a bit, but I'm looking more forward to the TBT tournament that's around the corner than the NBA Summer League. But we do have NBA win totals that were posted. We'll hit that a little bit later on. We'll talk Major League Baseball next. NFL football. George Kurtz, bring it.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet 2 or 3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. The Monday Night Meltdown continues. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. So Toronto Blue Jays victorious, 9 wins in a row. That's the 8th straight win for them in Chicago against the White Sox. So the Blue Jays have taken advantage of business when they play Chicago. In Chicago, there were a ton of Blue Jay fans in attendance tonight as well. Blue Jays are rolling right now. Active winning streak, longest streak in baseball. This is impressive. The Blue Jays are now 33-19 off of a win. So, like in the past, everyone that follows the Blue Jays knows, like they classically would go 4-1-5, and then 1-4 in the next 5. They'd lose 3 in a row, win 4 in a row, and then it'd always be right back to 500 after. Like this, This is the way it's always been with them. But they're actually stringing these wins together right now. Their record since May 28th is 27-10 after tonight's win now. 27-10 since May 28th. And the value is gone. We bring George Kurtz in right now. And, George, we talked a lot about this division before the year, during the year, et cetera. And remember, Blue Jays were like 11-1, 12-1, et cetera, before the year started. They were plus 650 last week after a win or two against the Yankees. Now they're plus 140 at FanDuel. The value is gone. But they're not getting a lot of respect in, to win the American League market, plus 800 right now, and plus 2,200, 22-1 at FanDuel right now for the Blue Jays to win the World Series. I know we're only mid-season right now, George, but they're a good baseball team. They're going to be in the playoffs, and we talk about the American League. They're as good as anybody else is.
Plus, I expect the Blue Jays to make a major addition. All right, we've talked about it before here. They wanted Soto. They wanted Ohtani. They have money. All right, so if there's somebody out there on the market, big contract or not, I think they'll take them on here, whether it be a starting pitcher, another bat, whatever it might be. I'm sure they'll add to their bullpen. Everyone's going to try and do that here. But, yeah, the Blue Jays are a dangerous team. I mean, I have a ticket on them to win the division. I do this every year with the Blue Jays. And listen, before you, what is it, 27-10 since May 28th, I think you said there? On May 27th, I was ready to rip that ticket up. All right, this sucks. They're not going anywhere. All right, and then they just crushed here. They've absolutely crushed. And, they can bury the Yankees here because the Yankees, they got Seattle this week and the Cubs before the break. After the break, they have the Braves, Toronto again in Toronto, and then Tampa Bay and Philadelphia to finish out July. If the Jays are playing 600 ball during this stretch, the Yankees could easily be 8-9 games out.
Yeah, and Tampa and suddenly can start to distance themselves from the Yankees as well. I said this earlier, and I talked about this earlier in the day, and I think some people think, no, they'll be fine. They'll make the playoffs. But I think the Yankees are going to be battling for the wild card when it's all said and done, George, like a big-time battle. Like, they're trending in the wrong direction, and, like, where's the relief coming? Like, what's going to change wholeheartedly? If you can't play defense, you can't play defense. If you can't, hit situationally, you can't hit situationally. So, they're going to hit a home run every now and then to win some baseball games, George. But in the big picture, wouldn't you have to be concerned about the Yankees here? Like, they're going to be battling for a playoff spot. I think the Blue Jays will start to pull away, and we'll see what Tampa does. But I think the Yankees are in trouble.
I don't think the Yankees will win the division. All right, so you look at the Yankees, Rays, Mariners. I mean, we're throwing the Red Sox in here. They're only 2 games out of a wild card spot. The Rangers 4. I mean, you're talking 3 of these teams are going to have to pass the Yankees for the Yankees not to make the playoffs. I don't know if that can happen. All right, these other teams have issues as well. But to your point, every Yankee infielder, every one, that's Goldschmidt or Rice, whoever's playing first, second base is a nightmare. Volpe at short, Jazz when he plays third base. Every one of those is minus in defensive runs saved. That means they're bad, boys and girls. They're not good defensively here. All right, and what's starting pitching's in shambles, right? You're down 3 starting pitchers now. I mean, Cole, Hill, and now Clark Schmidt. Those are 3 of your top 5 here. You might get back Louis Hill. 3 weeks is probably being nice, but we don't know what he's going to be. He hasn't pitched all year. And the bullpen, nightmare. All right, you can tell you they're tired. They're close to done here. So the Yankees need to make additions as well here, and you can't fix all of these. You're not going to be able to get a good third baseman and good bullpen help and a starting pitcher. It's not going to happen here. The Yankees are definitely in trouble. I think they make the playoffs only because the American League is so wishy-washy. And, these other teams aren't going to be able to fix their problems either. But would it shock me if we come mid-September, we're like, oh, God, the Yankees are 2 games ahead of not making the playoffs? No, it wouldn't shock me at all here. I think the Yankees will have to battle, yes, but I think they will make it.
I think it was symbolic almost of how things have been going this week that Volpe hits Aaron Judge in the face while they were warming up in between innings over the weekend. Like they have a thing where the Yankees, he throws the ball to Judge at the end of the inning, and I don't know why the hell Judge didn't see it or know it was coming. But Judge is like running in from right field, and he gets smoked in the face from Volpe. Volpe threw the ball at him. It hits him in the face. And then over the weekend, Volpe's father wants to fight a Met fan for saying his son sucks. And that was quite the clip. We played on the best of X, but there's too much profanity. And it's Volpe's father doing all the swearing. He's like, yeah, how dare you? You say you want to talk crap about my son? F you. Let's effing go right now. You see the Met fan? The Met fan goes, yeah, your son's great. He's great, all right? He's great. But he said it sarcastically the way he said it. He goes, yeah, your son's great. He's great.
It was the best game. It's right during God Bless America, too. You hear it in the background. Nee. And he's going,
the Mets fan's there with his son. His kid's like standing there with his hat on his heart. His father's like getting into it with Volpe's father.
What would have happened, by the way, if that would have knocked Judge out, given him a concussion, he's out for 2 weeks?
Oh, I know.
I don't want to know what would happen to Volpe's future with the Yankees. I mean, Yankee
people already don't like him.
Right. Yeah. They're already angry. And listen, the Yankees have done him no good shakes here. They piped him up, right? They probably, he's going to be the next Derek Jeter, right? He's going to be this, that, and the other thing. And he's not that. All right. At best, he's an average baseball player. At best. Maybe he's got a chance to be more than that, but that's all he is right now. And even his defense, I just wrote the DRS, he leads the American League in errors. I think he leads Major League Baseball in errors for a shortstop. He's not the same player right now. He's got a severe uppercut swing. He strikes out a lot, and the Yankees baby and protect him like there's no tomorrow. And actually, Aaron Boone does that to everybody, right? Aaron Boone actually said the other day, we're still a great team. We're still a first-place team here. No, you're not, all right? You're not a great team. Stop babying these guys and be a manager. Flip over a food table every now and then. Don't just scream at the umpires. Maybe scream at your team. And I think Volpe needs that as well here because I think he also thinks, oh, yeah, the Yankees love me. I'm fine here. No, you're not. You're not playing good ball here. You keep making stupid decisions. It's not just not being able to hit. You keep throwing the ball, but you have no idea. You're not going to get the play. You're throwing it away. You're giving away bases for no reason. So it's been a weird year for Volpe. But like I said, he's an average ball player that the Yankees have propped up like he's going to be the next Hall of Fame shortstop, and he's not that.
It is a good point as far as Boone is concerned. And we talk about it a lot. I know people are critical. They always want him to be fired every time the Yankees go on a losing streak. He really doesn't do that much, guys. Like, the Yankees are a big analytical team. Cashman and his stooges, his analytic department, they run everything. Boone's there to deal with the media and yell at umpires, right? But it is true, George. Like, would it kill Boone once to rip the team? You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen him after. You're right. There's always an excuse. There's always, like, the defense. There's always the we're doing this well and stuff. I've never seen Boone say, we got to play better baseball, right? Like, he never seems to own or be aware that things are as bad as they are when they are.
Maybe he says it in private, and then in public he doesn't. Maybe. But you know what? The public needs to hear that too, because after they lost, I think they got swept by the Jays the 4 games. I think after the first loss to the Mets here, he was like, oh, no, we're still a great team. I told him. He said this in the postgame comments. I told them we're still the first place great team. No, you're not. You're playing like crap. You've won 6 out of 22 games here. You're not playing well. Like I said, maybe he does it in private, Gabe, where he's screaming and yelling here. But in public, he's always, oh, it's a happy face. We're going to be fine. This always happens to every team. No, it doesn't happen to every team. It's the Yankees that happens to every year.
Yankees currently plus 105. Blue Jays plus 140. Tampa Bay Rays plus 490. Boston Red Sox 21-1 to win the East.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet 2 or 3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Monday Night Meltdown continues. I'm Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. SportsGrid's George Kurtzkamp Stewart in the house with us right now, talking Major League Baseball. Blue Jays, I see they just tied their franchise record tonight for the most wins before the All-Star break. And it should be noted as well, the last time that they had this many wins before the All-Star break, they won the World Series in 1993. So they're off to their best start since 1993, essentially. And they did win the World Series that year. And in fact, they won in 1992 as well. And the Expos, I don't know, like you can't guarantee they were going to win, but it might have been 3 years in a row that it would have been a team from Canada that actually won the World Series. Some people believe that's why they pulled the plug when they did but that's another story. And then Reinsdorf, of all people, he was the first one to sign Albert Bell after the lockout. It's like, all right, bro, you're the one that caused the lockout. Now you're the one that gave the money, like right coming out of it. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So I want to go back in time again. So updated numbers now. We told you about the American League East. The American League West, if you think Seattle are live, they're plus 750. Astros are 10-1. The Major League Baseball All-Star rosters were rounded out today. And Framber Valdez, George, to me, that was the big one. Like, we can talk about Juan Soto. Juan Soto did not make the All-Star team, people. $770 million that he didn't make the All-Star game. But I don't think players like him. Like, so, or like the vote and all that, like the non-fan vote. And fans don't like him, beside Met fans. But Valdez, and to me, Valdez was like the big one, George. He's like the most consistent pitcher in baseball, this guy.
Does he deserve to be there? Yeah. All right. He should have made it. Listen, maybe it's a Houston Astros thing. You know, people still hate for that, even though he's a pitcher, wasn't one of the hitters, but maybe they're taking it out on that. But he'll be there. All right. We know this week we're going to have people opting out that aren't going to want to go. I'm looking at the Sunday pitchers now to see, who's going to be pitching on Sunday that then won't go. I think the only All-Star might be Yamamoto, who's pitching on Sunday. So that's a National League guy, not an American League guy, so that won't help him. So I'm sure he'll be there. I don't get all broken up about this. I don't even think the players, some of these players don't want to go anyway. They want to go on the 4-day vacation, right? So I'm not going to get broken up about this. It might be different if back in the day, if you were a Houston Astros fan, you want to see the players in the game. But I think, George,
I think NHL players don't care. Baseball players do. And not to mention, too, I guarantee you he has it in his contract, too, that he gets a bonus, right, for making the All-Star game.
They all do.
Right? So that's another thing. He's getting pinched for monetarily, $250K, $500K, or whatnot. I think the baseball guys do. Pro Bowl, they don't give a crap in the NFL, right? Like, you have, like, the 8th quarterback and stuff showing up to this thing now. You know what I mean? I think they're playing flag football now, even the Pro Bowl. I haven't paid attention. In a couple of years. All right, so the Astros, 10-1. Any love for the Mariners, guys? You think the Mariners can come back and get into this thing at plus 750?
No, Houston's too good, Gabe. The problem is, too, they got so much ground to make up. I like a Rosarena, but he's the one guy who's hot on that team. The pitching's there, but too many power outages when it comes to producing runs with Seattle. So, I don't know. Houston's just up and down, too solid.
I don't think 750 is enough. I mean, should we be getting a better price for a team that's 7 games out?
They're 7 out.
I like Seattle. I like Seattle a lot because I love that pitching staff, right? Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Miller when he gets back, Castillo. I think they might trade Castillo at the deadline for a bat. But I like the staff here. And listen, maybe I'm thinking more that you don't want to play them in a playoff series, right? That's certainly not going to be a lot of fun there. But 750 is just not enough for me. If it was higher, I would take a shot at it because I don't think the Astros are great. I don't.
They put the odds up during the day, right? Like they're not going to have everything up here. Let me see, do they have to make the playoffs up, which they don't right now. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think the Mariners win a division, but I think the Mariners will make the playoffs, right? And look, like they've had a good little 3-game run here. They're 6 games over 500. They got a 2-game cushion right now in the wild card. Yankees are +1, Rays plus 0.5, Mariners. And then the Red Sox are 2 games back of the Mariners right now. Rangers are 4 games back. And then you get the Angels at 4.5. But I do take Seattle seriously. I think Seattle will be in the playoff picture. And if I had to bet, I'm looking, I don't see the odds now. I would say that they do make the playoffs. All right, as far as the National League East is bettable. Philadelphia are -220. The Mets are plus 155. George, can the Mets pull this off? I don't think so, though. I think the Phillies will win the division, and the odds keep going up. The Phillies were like -150 only last week or whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Philadelphia is the second best team in the National League when everyone's healthy. All right, I still think their Dodgers are number 1 here, though they're beat up to hell right now. But yeah, I think the Phillies are they're another dangerous team. All right, because that pitching staff, Wheeler looks like fantastic Cy Young material right now. Sanchez, Suarez. I know I'm leaving somebody out as well here, but a really good pitching staff. Turner. Harper, if he figures it out, Schwarber's dangerous there. I like the Phillies a lot. They need some bullpen help there. But I like the Phillies. The Mets, I know they're going to get help this weekend, right? Good chance Sanger and Minaya return this weekend, so that'll help. I just don't think they have enough, not in the pitching department here. And they're another team that needs bullpen up the wazoo, which is going to be very tough to get at the deadline. I think the Mets are a playoff team, but not going to win the division. I think it's Philadelphia.
All right, so we do have playoff odds up at FanDuel right now. They're reposting. Let's see. The Seattle, they don't have every team up, though, but they do have Seattle. All right. Seattle to make the playoffs. Yes, minus 192. Boo. No, plus 152. Yeah, that's a little high, Kim. I was hoping it wouldn't be minus 192.
Yeah, you're at 190. I'm like, no, this is the thing. Like, you can take flyers on these teams. Like, I'm not going to say the Red Sox are their game, but look at the there's only a few games separating like tons of teams here. We got a second half of baseball left. Like, this thing is definitely up in the air.
Oh, how about this? Yankees to make the playoffs, 10-1. You could bet no. What? Plus 610. Plus 610. No. I want to bet that. Plus 610.
Me too.
That's not a bad bet. Not a bad
George,
bet.
that's pretty big odds, man. Plus 610.
Come on. Like, that's nuts. There's a lot of teams, man. They got problems. Like, I'm with you, Gabe.
But the problem, the other teams have problems too. So who's going to be able to catch up? Teams that are going to catch up with the Yankees need to do so in the next 3 weeks. And the Yankees have all that heavy.
You're right. It's even Seattle and Tampa. All right, that's only 2. That leaves, like, you're right. Like, who is it? Texas.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause here because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're rolling along. Some Monday Night Meltdown. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. If we can, actually, Tom, if we can get that Paul Skeens tweet, Best of X, about Paul Skeens, an incredible number. Skeens has been dominant, but he can't. The Pittsburgh Pirates never support him when he pitches, right? He's not the first pitcher to go through this, but it's really crazy. So let me know when we're ready to go here. With the Best of X. So as we were saying, the teams, they don't have every team up to make the playoffs right now. Cubs to make the playoffs. Cubs are making the playoffs. All right, so here's Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens has 1 win in his last 13 starts, but his ERA is 1.72. Think about that. His last 13 starts, he's got a 1.72 ERA, and he's won 1 game, George. That's insanity.
That's when he starts suing for non-support, right? That is unbelievable. It's hard to believe that. But and by the way, you can't tell me that's not in the Pittsburgh batters' heads. By the way, that they know Skeens pitching. We got to score some runs for this guy. They're gripping that bat a little tighter, and they're just not hitting at all. It's almost a joke. I made before the game, it was Pittsburgh-Seattle yesterday or Saturday, whichever day it was, and I made the joke, it'll be a 1-0 Seattle win. Yeah. And sure enough, it was a 1-0 Seattle win because they just can't score for the guy.
Exactly.
It's sad.
It is crazy.
It's wild.
And by the way, he should
pitchers
still win the Cy Young. I don't care if he has 4 wins this season.
The thing is,
it's wild.
I would give it to
Jacob
Wheeler.
deGrom had the same situation before.
Yes, he did, Gabe. It's a good call by you. But the thing is, Wheeler
King Felix
stays in
did,
games.
Clayton Kershaw did, Roger Clemens. He's not the first one.
The thing about the Pirates, too, is I know Skeens' numbers are there, but Wheeler's numbers are the same, and he pitches a lot more. They take Skeens out of games early. When you look at Wheeler's numbers, the guy stays in and gets wins. I know nobody talks about wins anymore, but if you look at the numbers, his numbers are, fantastic. But the thing is, Skeens, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think Wheeler, take a look at it. Consistently, 12 Ks, this, that, the other. Skeens comes out, he's on a pitch count because they're trying to baby his arm, which obviously, he's a Pittsburgh Pirate. That's what you have to do. But if you really look at it, Wheeler's the guy. That's my opinion.
Plus, to back up Cam here, remember, Wheeler pitches in a bandbox, right?
Yes.
Until that ball flies out of Philadelphia. Pittsburgh's one of the better pitchers ballparks in Major League Baseball.
If I was the Pirates, I wouldn't baby Paul Skeens. You're only saving his arm for another team.
The Yankees.
Exactly, Gabe. You're right. That golden arm will be somewhere else. That's the whole thing with this guy.
So you're babying his arm, and he's going to leave. Let's just be real. He has no reason to stay. I mean, we just pointed out. I mean, the guy's got a 1.72 ERA, and he's won 1 game in his last 13 starts. Mm-hmm. And there's no relief in sight here. The ownership just does not care in Pittsburgh. That's why when people, we need a new park. It's like, you know what? A new stadium, man. The shine wears off after a year or two once the team sucks, and nobody cares. There's a new stadium, right? That whole, people think, new stadium. I remember Montreal, if we only had a new stadium. It's like, well, what? Once the team's mediocre, you're not going to go just because it's a new stadium. Right? That whole new stadium stuff. So good for you. The White Sox have a nice stadium. It's empty, right? Because they're bad, right? Colorado's got a nice stadium. No one goes. You know what I'm saying? I can go on. Get to do a downtown ballpark. Okay. Not every team with a downtown ballpark is good. But a lot of times when a team has a nice stadium, they sort of live on the stadium, right? Pittsburgh knows that. Oh, look how beautiful it is. People will just come here, right? We don't need to win. I'm making money anyways. So St. Louis Cardinals to make the playoffs, yes, plus 172, no, minus 215. Seattle Mariners to make the playoffs, yes, minus 192, no, plus 152. I'm intrigued by this Yankees just because it's such a fat number. Yankees, plus 610, not to make the playoffs. Plus 610. But as George mentioned, we were going into the break. All right, let's say Seattle plays well and gets one of the wild cards. Let's say Tampa doesn't go away and Toronto wins the division. The Yankees would still have to collapse, and the Texas Rangers would have to pass them. I'm not buying that. The Boston Red Sox, which, you know what? Sort of like the Jays, guys. I'm not saying the Red Sox are the Jays, but all it takes is a week and a half or two of winning games. You get hot for 10 days, 2 weeks, suddenly the standings get flipped, and you climb the ladder, and suddenly the clubhouse, like you said, George, you want to rip your ticket up on May 28th. Yeah. Right? It looked like it was when Schneider going to get fired? This isn't working.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be real. It was all right, this just isn't working anymore, guys. This is a disaster. We're spending $200 million. We suck. What are we doing here? And now look at them. Is it possible, George, that the Red Sox go on a run? I don't think it's crazy.
I think the team I would look at, I mean, I don't think the Royals are dead. I just don't think the Royals are dead. So they might get Reagans back in a couple of weeks here. I think
they have had a lot of injuries, this team, so far in the first half.
I mean, they're 5 games out of a wild card, so they're 6 behind the Yankees. And I mentioned this Yankee July here, they're going to lose some ground to people because that July is tough for. The Yankees are playing well. This July is tough. So I think they'll lose some ground again. I think in 3 weeks.
In that division, guys, the
Guardians.
They finally lost 10 in a row going into tonight. They win 1 game. That's the whole thing, right? Detroit's on a heater, but that's a division that you can make up ground very quickly. And Kansas City has good pitching. They just had bad hitting this year.
They don't have KC listed. Minnesota to make the playoffs is plus 350. No is minus 480. More with George and Cam on the other side. Let's roll.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet 2 or 3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make
Man, look at those numbers. So, Yankees not to make the playoffs. Level 2 has begun. I am Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, SiriusXM Channel 159. Cam Stewart in the house with us. George Kurtz-Mokan will join us later. We're talking baseball now, but I want to get into some NFL football. Camps are around the corner. It's time to start pulling the trigger on our futures and taking a look at what we're going to bet on. But there was big news in the hockey world today. As, of course, the NHL draft just passed and free agency and all that, but NCAA, of course, and everything has changed with NIL stuff right now. And we've seen, we were talking about the kid at BYU. He's making $5 million this year to play basketball. He's the first $5 million a year player in college basketball. College football, we're getting up there now. Not quite $5 million a year, but, 3.5 and 4 years, $4 million a year and all this stuff. Hell, Texas Tech women's softball team paid the pitcher $1 million to leave Stanford. So now the NIL stuff is finally trickling down to the hockey world. And Gavin McKenna expected to commit to Penn State. McKenna was presumed to be the number 1 pick in the NHL draft coming up this year. He spent this past season with the Medicine Hat Tigers, and they made it to the Memorial Cup. They were in the Memorial Cup, one of the better teams in the country. But big-time news. Like, a lot of people sort of thought, all right, some of these Canadian kids will go and play in NCAA, but they're not going to get, like, the superstar player. Like, Penn State are the ones, though. Penn State are coming on hard and trying to destroy Team Canada and the Canadian Hockey League. Like, they came after Porter Martone, who was just drafted 6th overall by the Philadelphia Flyers, ironically enough. So, and Martone said no. And they offered him $250K. But I think Martone thinks, whatever, dude, I'll be on the Flyers next year. Like, Martone is one of these kids. He's big. He's going to get fast-tracked to the NHL, this kid. So, McKenna, though, is interesting. The fact that he's going to be the number 1 pick of the draft. They just went to the Memorial Cup in Medicine Hat. He has a good thing going. It's like you're on a team and you're the number 1 pick in the NHL draft. Why shake things up? Well, $250,000, $250,000 is the ballpark, and it might be more, but I know they offered Martone $250K, so I think that's sort of the ballpark figure that they're offering players now. But this could have an impact in a big way on the CHL. Like, CHL, guys, is worse than the NCAA in a sense, but they don't make as much money. But they've exploited the players for years. Like, the players used to get, like, next to nothing. Like, literally, like $100 a week type of stuff. And, yeah, you get free food and boarding and all that. You also get yelled at and treated like crap. NCAA, you have these great complexes and facilities, and there's not as much pressure. Let's be real. It sounds crazy, guys, like about players playing in Canada with the NHL teams, but there's pressure, Cam. If you're McKenna and you're on the Medicine Hat Tigers, you can't go out anywhere. Everybody knows who you are. If you're a jerk one night in a bar, everybody knows it. Oh, he's a jerk. Oh, he was mean to me in Tim Hortons, right? Like, Penn State, no one will know who he is. Yeah, like, it's true. Everyone has a story. Like,
yeah, his kid was going in for a donut and coffee. He told me that. I told my kid.
My kid asked him for an autograph, and he blew him off. Like,
blew me off.
Bedard used to deal with that all the time. Oh, he was rude to my son in Tim Hortons or something, like, you know?
That's the best. You know what? Misa's brother, Luca, he's another prospect going to Penn State, too. You might want to put futures on this team. That's what I'm saying. Like,
this Penn State hockey team is definitely trying to win. Like, they're not playing around. Like, they're going after the best hockey players.
Last year. It's like, that's good.
And the Michigan Wolverines. Wolverines, I see as well. They've got Malcolm Spence and Calgary Flames prospect Henry Muse are now going to Michigan. Michigan's already had a lot of NHL guys over the years. Like, that's been one program that has produced a lot of draft picks, but Penn State hasn't. But Penn State are clearly open for business right now. And I agree with Cam. I mean, you can keep your eye on keep your eye on Penn State moving forward for futures. And you guys, you know, this Michigan proudly the only team with a first-round draft pick in the NBA, NFL, and NHL drafts this year. Pretty impressive.
Also, Gabe, they got that Penn State's got the Tri-City Americans Vincent Jackson Smith. He's 14th overall. So they got Steelheads prospect Luke Misa, McKenna, who's going to be the first pick if he stays healthy, and this other stud kid. So you're telling me, like, look at you called it, man. These guys are
Penn State are raiding the CHL.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. They're looking at like all the CHL teams, and they're like, who are the best players? Offer them $250K. Right?
You're right, Gabe. Like, what the CHL guys must be having a meeting right now in their offices going, what the hell's going on here with our prospects? Like, they're probably losing their minds right now. You better start paying these kids.
I'd be a little bit fearful. Like, this is like a bigger football conference, Cam, just rating your players. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right, Gabe. This is a very underrated story that's kind of fallen under the radar.
Because this
is huge.
Like, a few teams could pay this. The London Knights could pay a player $250K and stay open for business, but there's only a handful of junior teams that actually make money. Like, for the most part, they're battling to stay open, and it's not like it isn't NCAA. I mean, you got 5,000 seat arenas, 8,000. Like, Quebec makes money because Quebec gets like 15,000 people a game, 13,000 people a game for their Q League, but. Pretty big development, George, for American hockey. This just makes American hockey better and weakens Canadian hockey.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the the colleges would do this. I guess maybe I shouldn't be. The money's there, and if you want to make a name for yourself, this is one way to do it. And Gavin McKenna is supposed to be a transgenerational player, so you can certainly market that. All right, I'm not talking Connor McDavid, but he's supposed to be really. Everybody's going to want the number one pick next year in the NHL, so there'll be a lot of pub that comes with it. And for $250,000. Guys, I imagine that pays for itself. That they'll be able to market him and everything else. That he'll make that money back for them, sort of like what Ohtani does for the Dodgers.
You know what though? That's crazy though. Like, it's like, yeah, okay, 250 is cool, but you're gonna make money in 10 months anyways, right? Like, that's my whole thing. That was Martone's thing. I have a good thing going. I play junior. I'm on Team Canada's. Like, he played in the World Championships, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the kid made the Flyers, to be honest with you. Right? So he was like, "No, I don't need to go to NCAA." Like, cuz we all like, it's just weird. Like, cuz it's 1 year. McKenna will not be at Penn State in 2 years.
No.
Right? He's going to be the number one pick, and they're going to fast.
You said before that maybe he doesn't want to travel around Canada on a bus, and it's 30 below and it's cold in Pennsylvania.
The bottom
too.
line is this: the
It
Canadian
could be a
Hockey
fun
League
thing.
better
It
do
could
something
be, you know what?
about this.
This is my one chance to have fun before I go into the NHL.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
But
Last year of fun.
The thing is, this is going to be the future if these guys don't change their system. You guys better pony up and start paying these kids more money rather than like $1,200 to ride a bus. Sorry.
Like they're going to have to add some zeros to the checks they're giving the kids.
You are correct. This is like, screw this. I'm going to
$3,600 a month. Like, yeah, coach. Like, you're going to have to put another
Michigan's
couple of zeros on this. Like,
hey, these schools are smart. Michigan's doing it. Penn State's doing it. Pony up. And now the CHL, they didn't get ahead of this problem. That's the thing. Now they're going to be reactionary. Well, they better do something, or this is just going to be an ongoing trend.
Yeah, and like I said, it helps American hockey.
Quick, wouldn't it be better for your development to be in the CHL than it would be at college? I might wonder that.
Well, that's another thing. But like you said, George, I think the fact is he's so good it doesn't matter. You know what? It was a lot like It was like Travis Hunter. A lot of people were like, when Travis Hunter went to Jackson State, they were like, dude, he's too good to go there. It's like, well, he's going to be a first-round pick in the NFL wherever he goes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So countdown to NFL training camp is on. July 15th, a couple of days, the Buffalo Bills are going to be reporting for duty. The Cardinals, the Bears, there's a bunch of teams opening up camp a little bit earlier than normal this year. And I saw there was an interesting story here about the Miami Dolphins. You see Asante Samuel Jr., his father ripped, and I think his father's his agent type of deal. His father and him ripped the Dolphins. I talked about this in the past, guys, about Mike McDaniel. And he's just like, you can't wear like those pants like to your ankles and stuff, Cam and George. And like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be a hipster like that, bro, and be a coach in the NFL. Like, he's too small, he's too nice, he's too, you know what I mean? He's just too everything. And this is from Asante Samuel. All right, so Samuel labeled Mike McDaniel as being a pushover. Chris Greer has no backbone, the general manager. The Dolphins had no reason to trade Jalen Ramsey other than they were sensitive, Samuel Jr. said on the podcast. There's no leadership on the Dolphins in the organization. McDaniels is a pushover. Greer, the general manager, has no backbone. The guys over there, the Dolphin players, are running that team like it's a Little League team. The coaching staff is scared of the players. They're terrified of their own players in that room. They have no control over anything. And, you know what? Normally I'd say, wow, and all this, but I'll throw it to you first, George. I don't like disbelieve this, actually. Like, you see McDaniel, he should be a coordinator. Like, there's some people, smart football people, they can't lead a room of 53 men. You know what I mean? Like, football players, Kyle Turley told me this about Rex Ryan. I remember I asked Kyle about Rex was on the Bills or whatever, and I said to Kyle, I said, I imagine you would like to play for Rex Ryan. He'd be your type of guy. And he said, no. He goes, he's my type of guy to have a beer with. But he goes, I wouldn't want, he goes, no. He goes, you know why Rex doesn't have more success? He said he's too much of a player's coach. He said Rex wants to be friends with everybody on the team. He thinks he's a player. And he goes, you can't be like that. And Turley told me, he goes, Gabe, man, it's not easy running an NFL room. He goes, you got to take control, right? And I don't think McDaniel can take control, Cam or George, personally. Like, and you see it, just point blank. Like, you can call plays. You can be you can be like Adam Gase was another one. Yeah. Adam Gase was a smart coordinator guy. He wasn't a leader of men. Right? Guys on the Jets told me, I said, well, what's Adam Gase like in real life? They're like, I don't know. I've met him once. I'm like, you've met your coach once. They're like, yeah, he doesn't talk to us. Like, he's in his thing. They go, he's a nice guy, but he goes, we deal with the position coaches. Gase doesn't talk to us. You can't run a football team if you're just a coordinator guy. Everyone's an X and O to you. Mike Martz was the same way, Kurt. So you remember Mike Martz? He was just sort of a jerk, right? He was like, everyone was just sort of a bot.
What's the common denominator, Gabe, from all those guys?
To him. Like
introverts, guys who stare at their sheet, not good with people, don't know how to have conversations, just football people that can't communicate. That's McDaniel's problem all the time.
I think McDaniel communicates, but I think he's just too unassuming. Like
he
I
doesn't
said,
give up that vibe that you're afraid of him. That he's, that you run 16 laps if you screw something up for the
that's the thing.
Way to go.
Like, a great example is when Rex Ryan was the coach of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills led the National Football League in penalties. You just said it, George. They were like, dude, we ain't gonna do nothing. Like, he got a 15-yarder too, right? Rex would be so busy yelling at the refs and playing to the camera all the time. And players feed off of that. They know. They're like, dude, our coach, whatever, dude, he's not going to yell at me for getting this penalty. He'll think it's cool I hit the guy late. Like, you know what I mean? McDermott comes in, George, and McDermott, he'll bench your ass. Like, it's like McDermott's a hard ass. McDermott's not your friend. He's the coach, right? Like, he's not there to be your friend, right? Like, and there's, he doesn't want a Super Bowl, but there's a level of professionalism about them at least, right? I think the Dolphins are a big fade coming into this year too. You guys see, like, this isn't going in the right direction.
100%. So, but the one coach that is a player's coach that has done well is Pete Carroll. But his act wears thin after a while. Like, he's a real rah-rah type of guy, and hey, I'm everybody's buddy, but it lasts for a bit, and then the shine kind of comes off a little bit.
What's one of my big complaints about the Cowboys? That they run a country club there, right? No one's afraid of the coach because if even if the coach was a disciplinarian, they would just go run to Papa Jerry. Right?
That's the problem. It's like the coach, George, in Dallas is always like a substitute teacher. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, listen, I know you're not really in charge. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the player, like you said, like if you do something, you're like, yeah, whatever, dude. McCarthy's upset, but I'm only worried if Jerry Jones is upset, right?
Who was the last coach that
you
was upset? That was worried. That was people were afraid of in Dallas. It was Bill Parcells. Right. It's 20 years ago. Before that, it was Jimmy Johnson. That's it under Jerry. Everybody
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, real afraid of Jason. I mean, it's a great story about Jimmy Johnson, right? He released.
He'd be like, let's go.
I'm with you, Morency. I think the Dolphins are a hard fade this year. They got a lot of problems.
One thing about the Dolphins, guys, though, their schedule, I mean, it does get tougher, but they open up Indianapolis, New England. All right, Buffalo's a problem. Jets, Carolina.
They can lose those games.
If they fall apart there, he's going to have a lot of problems. But if they can, 3-2 is not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, they can win. You can beat Indianapolis. They have all sorts of issues. New England love their defense, and that game's in Miami, by the way. Love their defense, but their offense is questionable. Jets have their issues. Carolina, I mean, they get to a 3-2 start, and maybe ride some momentum. But if they start off 2-3, 1-4, McDaniels isn't going to make it to Halloween.
No, their owner has expectations as well. Right. But you know what? And I'm not blaming McDaniel. The Dolphins have had problems before. The controversy with their coach and behind the scenes and secret meetings and right. So like they I'm not blaming McDaniel. I'm just stating that Samuel and his father kind of were honest about what people in the NFL players think about McDaniel. That like, yeah, go there and you can do what you want. Like, you know what I mean? And that's just sort of the reputation. Their win total, the Miami Dolphins, 7.5. So the odds makers are aware. 7.5, -105 to the over, -115 to the under. Thank you, George.
My pleasure.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the pits, the players, the hustlers, the people, the busters, and everybody else in between, including Cam Stewart. All right, Mo Connell will join us in a couple of minutes. Let's get to the other best of X that we have here, actually, right now. This is a good one. Cam, you'll enjoy this one. We're always talking about what conferences golfers went to. We talk football. We're just talking about Michigan, Penn State, etc. I didn't realize this. The Mountain West. The Mountain West, king of the competitive eaters.
Yes, exactly.
There's Joey Chestnut's a San Jose Spartan.
San Jose Spartan. Nice.
And Miko Sudo, the world famous female champion, is a UNLV Rebel.
That's
the Mountain
awesome.
West, the competitive eating champions camp. That's the conference.
That's the best. Both of them are from the Mountain West. That's so good. That's amazing. Now, I got to tell you, Gabe Chestnut. Yeah,
Barstool says, I don't see any other conferences producing hot dog eating champions.
Hot dog eating champions. Exactly. That's a wicked take. I got to give Chestnut
West,
credit,
baby.
too. Yeah. I didn't know the Mountain West were the king of the regurgitators and eating.
I didn't know that Joey Chestnut. I didn't know she went to UN. Actually, you know what? I kind of did. Like, to be honest, I sort of forgot. But
I had no clue.
I did, being in Vegas. Yeah, like they talked about her before. I think she lives in Vegas. I've seen her around. But Joey Chestnut, I did not know was a San Jose State Spartan.
Me neither. We've been doing this stuff for a long time, and I remember Chestnut how do you maintain?
I never thought about where Joey Chestnut went to school before.
No, I never thought about it. That's like, what is the San Jose State Spartan?
I never thought he went to school. Like, it never crossed my
he
mind.
went to like Cleveland State or something.
I don't know. The guy did he go to?
Somewhere in the
Did he go to school?
League.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. Did he?
So what do they do? Like, they
attend
bring
school?
him back to San Jose State, like a commencement speech? Hi, I'm Joey Chestnut. I graduated from San Jose State. Now I'm a competitor. I couldn't, didn't get a real job.
I gotta tell you, he's doing pretty good. Like, he's like Jeff Garcia. Like, look at the San Jose State Spartans. Like, look at the life
You're saying he's one of the most successful Spartans.
I'd bring him back. Exactly. Joey Chestnut Day. But the thing is, Gabe, missing a contest like that and his total, it just went under. 71 and a half. He had 70 and a half hot dogs. And how old is this guy now?
He apologized to everyone for not going
covering?
over. He goes, I know a lot of people were counting on me. No, he's getting older. He did 74 and a half years ago or whatever, 76. But he's getting older now. You can't crush. I'm looking for notable people that went to notable alum. Yeah. Besides, let's see, Joey Chestnut. All right, here we go. Oh, Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac went to San Jose State. I would never have gotten that.
What? Come on. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
John Carlos, who did the fist at the Olympics, San Jose State.
Wow. There's Dick Vermeil?
Bill Walsh.
That's actually nice.
Bill Walsh.
Huh.
Famous football coach, San Francisco 49ers. Bill Walsh. He went to San Jose State. You know what? When I'm looking at the list here, you know what? You're right. Dick Vermeil as well. Dick Vermeil and Bill Walsh earned a combined 4 Super Bowls as NFL head coaches, San Jose State. You'll like this one, Kev. 1964 U.S. Open winner, Ken Venturi, San Jose State.
Ken Venturi went to San Jose State. He's not a golf guy. I didn't realize, man, that's impressive. Wow.
They really don't have a very long list, though, here, compared to some other schools. You know what I mean?
My point being your point. Joey Chestnut did.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut deserves a plaque at the school.
Big time.
That'd be great. Joey Chestnut Stadium for their football. Look at the Chestnut Stadium. This is pretty impressive, actually. This is pretty impressive. The Ray Dolby, the founder of Dolby Sound Systems, went to San Jose State. A science and engineer. All right, so that's pretty impressive. They created Dolby Sound.
You got TV moguls. You got eaters,
They do have a lot of big time CEOs here too.
Yeah.
The head of Oracle went there. Crown Worldwide CEO, billionaire James E. Thompson. So they Intel Computers, actually, the CEO went there. So they got some rich people that went there.
And Joey Chestnut.
And Joey Chestnut.
He's a San Jose Spur. I would have not known. I had no clue. I didn't even know the other girl went to UNLV. That's awesome.
And now know that Ken Venturi. Ken Venturi went to San Jose State as well.
He's a good broadcaster too, Ken Venturi. Yeah, very, very good. Started the CBS team back in the day. Good for him.
Thinking about moderns. Anyone like at the CFL, San Jose State? Surprised there hasn't been more. I figure that San Jose State players would be a good fit for the CFL.
I agree.
It's not that many in the NFL either. That Nash kid got screwed over in the draft this year. He got drafted late, or maybe as a free agent.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. And, Jeff Garcia went to San Jose State, and pretty weak, actually, of Wikipedia and everyone to put this list together, not to include Jeff Garcia.
Agreed.
But, come on. Jeff Garcia, one of your most famous alum. Gotta believe, I was thinking there's got to be a UFC fighter that went there. Like, you know what I mean? There's the AKAs in San Jose. Cain Velasquez, unfortunately, in prison right now. I think he got a shorter term, though, so hopefully he'll get out soon. But Cain Velasquez in the San Jose area, I was thinking there's got to be some fighters from San Jose.
You bring up a good point, though. Like, those schools, like, you think of, like, a quarterback like Cordero. Like, Jeff Garcia was a legend and great for the 49ers, too, and with the state. Like, he did every league. Ding, 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 ding. Like, he's one of those guys. But wouldn't you think that San Jose State would be like a pipeline to the Canadian Football League? I think there's guys there, but more linemen and stuff like that. Like, we don't have like the quarterback position from San Jose State. You think it'd be a good fit?
Looking here at the Nash kid I was talking about. He was a quarterback. He converted to wide receiver. He was really good at San Jose State. And he plummeted in the draft. Like, he didn't get drafted, which was very strange. Like, I don't know what he did behind the scenes. Something. Like, there was something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was something that freaked people out with him. 6'2", very productive in college. He did get signed by the Atlanta Falcons, and I say you guys keep your eye on him. He'll make the team. Let's bring in Mo Khan right now. Mo Khan, who played football. What's up, Mo? How you doing? TSN statistician, play-by-play voice, and more. What's going on, Mo?
Well, I have a name for you. Remember David Fallis, the quarterback that got picked by the Bears? Mark Trestman took him in, I think, the 2013 draft.
Is it
Fails? And they thought he would be the guy.
Yeah, David Fales.
David Fales.
Yeah,
David Fales.
Fales.
Yeah, I think it was double L, right? Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't Fals like fails, but I think it was Fales.
Fales. You're right, like fails. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Was he San Jose State? Was he?
He was San Jose State. They had a high grade on him, saying that he would be a quality third, fourth round pick that would be serviceable in the NFL as a starting quarterback, and not much beyond a third string quarterback, I believe.
Yeah, Cordero played there, and then he transferred, right? He went to...
James Jones? Was he a San Jose State guy? Former Packer receiver, Raider receiver?
Wow. James Jones?
He did.
Yeah, I think James Jones might have been a San Jose
If you hit this one, that's like Stump the Schwab stuff. James Jones.
We'll have to find out after the break, I guess.
He was born in San Jose, California.
No, Mo's right. San Jose
He did,
Spartan,
he played San Jose State.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well, he didn't get any love either. They got to update their San Jose alumni list.
I agree.
They're leaving a lot of names off. They don't even have Jeff Garcia. It's like, come on. But yeah, we just brought it because of Joey Chestnut. We're like, oh, Joey Chestnut and the female champions from Mika Sudos from UNLV. So we gave some love to the Mountain West. But then we started talking about San Jose State, and Bill Walsh went there. Dick Vermeil went there. So good call with James Jones, Jeff Garcia. Good call, Jeff Garcia. And like I said, the Nash kid's a pretty good wide receiver. I think he will make the Atlanta Falcons. All right, so speaking of football, CFL football this weekend, and very entertaining week of games. Very entertaining. So on Friday night, someone won $1 million with the returns. There were 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. It's pretty cool to save on to do it again for the other 2 games, right? Like they said, you know what, we're going to do it again this, even though somebody already won this week. And so nobody did, but then we had 2 punt returns for a touchdown, like last night in the game. Like super entertaining games this week. The Alouettes BC Lions game was kind of like chippy and, you know, it wasn't a flowing offensive game, but it was still a good game. It was still a competitive game. And you had a couple of season, like, potentially saving wins this past week in the CFL. I'm all like, the BC Lions, like, dude, like, it was, Montreal scores on the first drive. It's not looking good for them. And, you know, you're looking at it, it's like, wow, these guys could be 1-4, man. And, you know, Calgary are winning games. The Riders are winning games. The Bombers are winning games. And, you know, it's a battle, like, winning teams, like, struggle to get fans here in Vancouver. So, like, if they're losing, the like, people won't go, just point blank. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know this market. So, like, what a massive difference, guys, between, like, 2-3 and 1-4 and playing Edmonton this week. And I know Edmonton's coming off the win, Mo, but BC should win this game, and they'll be 3-3. And what a massive difference between 1-4 and 3-3 for the BC Lions. Like I said, I think that could have been a season-saving win for them.
Oh, no question, guys. I mean, you think about the fact that BC in that first drive threw an INT in the end zone, right? And they come back, score a touchdown, Montreal. But the biggest difference in that football game, I thought, was the BC O-line. They kept Nathan Rourke rather clean in that football game. And he went 5-9 versus the blitz against Montreal. We had 5 straight completions in the second half of that football game. And quite frankly, I thought Montreal did not play a good scheme in the fourth quarter and gave that prevent defense, right, the last play to Cotoy for an extra 5-6 yards and to go down before the kick by Sean White. But this was a game-saving season for them because, again, at this point, guys, had they lost that game, you're 2 behind Winnipeg, which you lost, right, the head-to-head tiebreaker. You lost to Calgary, right? You lost in division games here besides Edmonton. And how would you going to come back, especially the loss to Saskatchewan 2 last week? So this was one of those, like, literally back alley brawls that they had with Montreal, literally before, during the half of the football game. And I have to think now for BC, if they do beat the Elks this week, they're in that competition, maybe not for the West playoff race, but now for the crossover, if it happens being them crossing over to the East, given how the East has been so far this year.
Yeah, that's, you know what? Every game's going to be important for them this year. Yet it's a long season in the CFL. You got 18 games, so you can't panic, but 1-4 would have been a big problem for them. And hell, if they would have lost to Edmonton 1-5. So now they got a little momentum going. They stole a game against Montreal. Nobody thought they were going to win. Cam did. And you know what? Truth be told, they were only 2-point underdogs. So, like, which I thought was crazy, but I walked right into the trap. Couple of things about the Alouettes. Number one, defensively, they need to adjust. And they haven't, Mo. You saw Bo Levi Mitchell 2 weeks ago carve them up with the quick hit stuff. BC figured it out. Like midway through the second quarter, that was the best game that Buck Pearson Company had called, where they actually just, you know what, they realized, listen, Montreal, like, they have a real problem if we just get rid of the ball quickly. Montreal counts on their defensive line so much in the stunts and to confuse the quarterback, but if the quarterback knows I'm getting rid of the ball to 3 steps, boom, 3 steps, boom, it nullifies the Alouettes' defensive line. Hamilton did it, and then BC did it pretty successfully, just nickel and diming them. So defensively, the Alouettes need to figure something out because teams have, like, caught on to what they do. And then on the other side of the ball, we figured we'd give McLeod Bethel-Thompson a benefit of the doubt after one start. Okay, you haven't started a football game in years. you had another week, all week to rep, like with the starters all week, Mo, and the inaccuracy is just a massive concern. There was one time in the game, guys, like it was laugh out loud funny, like Rod Smith. It was like right out of Major League, like when he said just a little bit outside when it was like a wild pitch. Like there was a bomb once. There was a bomb and Speaker was wide open. Like there was no one around him. Yeah. And Thompson missed him by like 10 yards left. Like it just sort of sailed like way out. And Rod Smith goes, just missed him. Like started cracking up. I'm like, just missed him. He nearly hit the cheerleaders. Like, you know what I mean?
Amazing.
You know,
but when's Davis Alexander coming back, Mo? Like, they got a bye week this week. Thank God for them.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Short term, yes, they have to bite the bullet with Macbeth as quarterback. And the reality is, if you look at his passing chart, it was a lot of swing passes and hooks. That's what they did. They don't have a burner, to be honest with you. Hollins could be that guy for them, but they're expecting Alexander back for the Toronto game at home in about 10 days from now, and they hopefully to have him healthy enough, because remember, guys, he's 7-0 as a CFL starter.
Yeah, if there's a team that needs their quarterback back, we didn't think. I thought, we all said, oh, man, the Alouettes will be fine. They're so good. And no, they're not. Like, they're not fine right now. And suddenly they're lucky. And we'll talk about Hamilton. I was just saying they're lucky in a bad division, but Hamilton looked pretty freaking good suddenly.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Well, we took the Dallas Wings plus the points. That was a bad idea. They're getting murdered. The game is going to go over the number.
It's bad idea.
It's a bad idea. 94-69.
What was Dino's line? The Phoenix Mercury, the new queens of the hard. What did he say it in? He did have Phoenix Mercury futures.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. He actually said the other day to keep her on the Phoenix Mercury futures. He said they're sneaky good right now.
Yeah, Phoenix
they're better
Mercury,
than I thought.
The team of the future.
They're 12-6 actually. They're going to be 13-6. They're actually winning games. They're better than I realized. I knew they were okay this year, but bad spot. Whatever. I do have the over though, so we're going to get a split there. But Paige Beckers tonight is struggling. 3 for 11 from the field. She got 11 points. Her prop was 19.5. She's not going to get there. There's like 4:45 left in the game, but it is going to go over the 163.5. They're at 163 right now, so it's about to go. It's about to go over. All right, so we got Mo Khan in the house with us. So yeah, CFL football, massive win. Alouettes struggle, but they get a bye week. Alexander will be back. We talked about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Look very impressive. Like, I was critical of Bo Levi Mitchell. I wasn't the only one. It was a nice win against Montreal, but it was a lot of dink and dunk type stuff. So I give them credit. All right, they got it done. But last week, man, he was throwing bullets. Like, he was just throwing darts. 5 touchdown passes. He was threading the needle. Like, you know, he's been inaccurate in the past. He hasn't been the same quarterback in the past couple of years, but he's clearly in a groove right now. We got to tip our cap to him for that. So this week in the CFL, we only have 3 games. For people wondering why there's only 3 games, there's 9 teams in the league. You got to balance the schedule out every once in a while with 3 instead of 4 games. So Friday, no game on Thursday this week. Friday night football, the Calgary Stampeders take on Saskatchewan, the Rough Riders. Great start to the season for the Stamps, sitting at 3-1 right now. Rough Riders hosting them, -4.5-point favorites, total 51.5. Saturday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. Ottawa Red Blacks struggling, 1-4 on the season, +4.5 on the road, and a suddenly red-hot Hamilton Tiger Cat football team, total 53.5. And as a betting man, everybody, this is the one. That game's going to be a track meet. Hamilton and Ottawa, there's going to be returns and chaos and all that. There's going to be points put up on the board. Love the over 53.5 there. And then Sunday night football, the Edmonton Elks guys were 0-18 in June and July at home. That was the first time they won in June or July at home in 3 years. So, man, the optimism. Yeah, good for the Elk players. They go out, get drunk, celebrate, and you know, people won't hate on them at the bar for the first time in 3 years. So, big win for the Elks. They're getting 3.5, visiting BC Lions. BC historically always beat Edmonton, just for the record. Total is 50.5 there. Who do you like this week, Mo, in the CFL?
Look, Sass is coming off the bye week. They're going to be a little bit healthier than Edmonton, rather than Calgary, I beg your pardon. And I think what Calgary has to do is just to kind of establish that running game against Saskatchewan. I think that Rider defense has been playing really good football, guys. They are hard-hitting. Corey Mace has these guys buy into his philosophy. But I think Sass has that edge going into that game on Friday. Look, Ottawa is in a must-win now because they got the Ticats back-to-back weeks. If they get swept by Hamilton these next couple weeks here, guys, their season is done here. But I think Hamilton right now has less questions on offense compared to Ottawa's defense that gave up far too many big plays to Edmonton in the weeks past, Montreal included. So give me the Ticats outright. Then Sunday night, look, right now, you're right about the history of BC Edmonton, Gabe. I think BC has that edge. I think that win in Montreal will galvanize them because, again, if they can clean up their penalties that they had on defense, they should rather easily beat the Elks and improve their record and put themselves firmly back in that conversation as well in the playoff race in the West, if not the crossover in the East.
Yeah, well, if the Lions win the game, they get to 3-3, and then they get the Riders after this game. So they play the Riders in BC, which is always a big game, and there's always a ton of Rider fans that show up, and they generally always beat BC, to be honest. But that'll be a big-time game in a couple of weeks. But big-time win for BC, so they're 2-3. Updated standings. Rough Riders are 4-0 in the West. Stampeders 3-1. Bombers 3-1. Lions 2-3. Elks 1-3. The East, the Alouettes look dominant, and then now they don't. They're 3-2. The Ticats are 2-2. Argos 1-4. Red Blacks 1-4. And as Mo mentioned, there's a crossover, guys, for those of you new to the CFL. So if a team like in the West has a better record than the last place team to make the playoffs, put it this way, as it is now, the Lions at 2-3 would be in the playoffs over the Argonauts or Red Blacks at 1-4, even though they're not in the division. Right? They do a crossover to avoid like screwing over a team with a better record, not making the playoffs. Doesn't come into play that often. When's the last time it happened, guys? Actually, I don't even remember off the top of my head. When's the last time we had a crossover?
I believe it was 2018, I think it was 2017.
I don't know. When we went to that Argos Rider game, Gabe, it was years ago.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Remember, it was a crossover.
Riders Argos.
Yeah, I remember. That came into play.
The Riders, And Saskatchewan Toronto beat Calgary in the
Argos.
2017 Grey
Yes.
Cup in the snowfall in Ottawa. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at that game, Saskatchewan and Toronto. I remember being at that game. Yeah, it was snowing. All right, so there's the updated standings. So you know what? Like I said, I like the over of that game on Saturday a lot, and it'll go up, guys. Like people they haven't started clicking it yet. It's 53.5 now. It'll be higher by kickoff. You're right, Mo. He brought up a good point, Cam. Saskatchewan's coming off a bye week. Calgary's coming off the Stampede Bowl win. That was on Thursday night, so they do have 8 days off in between games at least. That's a big-time game. We'll see if Calgary win this game, then you got to take the stance for serious. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're off to a great start anyway. The game I'm looking at is I do agree with points in that game, but I'm worried. The only thing that's preventing me from taking Ottawa with the points in that game and on the money line is the injuries that happen. They were in that game against the Elks, but there were some injury problems. I like Drew Brown. The one thing about him is he could stretch the field a little bit. Hamilton feeling good about themselves. Now they got to win by 5 points instead of that dog roll, Gabe. I'd say be careful of Ottawa. In the CFL, those teams that really are desperate a lot of the time show up. Could be closer than people think.
And Ottawa will be desperate. And that was Drew Brown. Listen, he didn't play for about a month. He played the first week. He got hurt. So that was his first game back. He was a little off. He got better as the game went on. But Ottawa do have a lot of problems. All right, we'll wrap up with Mo on the other side.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet 2 or 3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're down to the final 4 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And we've got a game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern. Chelsea. And our boy, Chris Vaselli, great job the other night on the program, just sent a tweet, said, pick for the people. Chelsea over 1.5 goals tomorrow. So he thinks Chelsea is going to score 2 goals tomorrow or more against Fluminense. Fluminense are plus 425. The draw is plus 270. Chelsea minus 150. And Chelsea are one of these teams that no one really talks about, right? And even in the tournament, they're not that good. And every game you notice, they're always not that heavily favored and stuff. But they won this event in 2021. right? So they're looking to win it again. The thing is, their side of the bracket was a lot easier than the other side is, right? So I don't know. It's been a hell of a run for Fluminense to get this far. I would assume there's not going to be a lot of goals in this game, right? I think I'd be looking at the under. Chris says over 1.5 for Chelsea. We'll get you some of the pros. Chelsea minus 150, draw plus 270, Fluminense plus 425. And then Wednesday at MetLife Stadium, also at 3 o'clock Eastern, PSG and Real Madrid, a real heavyweight battle. Winner goes to the final. PSG are plus 130. The draw is plus 260. Real Madrid are plus 190. Who do you like to play in the final, and who do you think is going to win the final? For the record, guys, the final is on Sunday. Who do you like, Mo?
So just before I get to that point here, the buy-in to get into the Chelsea game is like $13 US, and for the Madrid game, it's $200 US. Just letting you know what's going on for the ticket sales for those two games.
Good value.
Chelsea have proven that they're not an international draw.
I like that $13 though. Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm telling you, like their games, there's a few Chelsea fans, but PSG and Real Madrid, every one of their games has been packed. Yeah. Like they are big draws. Like they've been packed.
Yeah. It'll offset the Chelsea game with the fans. Okay, so
the Brazilian fans, the Fluminense fans will fill the stadium up. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I think for Maresca, the manager of Chelsea, what he has to do, he's got to get that first goal because Chelsea's not one of those teams that can play when they're chasing the game. Cole Palmer has had his moments, right? He's starting to pick up his groove now, going towards now maybe the final two games of this tournament for them. And also, look, Thiago Silva knows this Chelsea team very well because he was a part of Chelsea's run back in the Champions League back in 2020. Whenever that was when they won the COVID year. I think for Madrid and PSG, what it'll come down to is can PSG exploit the back line of Madrid? Because again, Trent Alexander-Arnold was the guy that they keyed on during Champions League when he was playing for Liverpool back in the knockout rounds in March and used that side of the field to their advantage. If they can use their wing play well enough and get that early goal, I think PSG will prevail and move towards that final against Chelsea on Sunday afternoon.
I'm just quickly looking here, just for the record, 102.72 right now in that basketball game. So the Phoenix Mercury, they're killing them up by 30. But I saw my account. I had more than I thought in my account. I looked. I'm like, what did I win? I'm like, did Paige Beckers score a bunch of points late here? No, I made a mistake tonight, and I never realized it until right now. I bet 2 baseball games tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays and the LA Dodgers. The Blue Jays won, the Dodgers lost, except Cam. I didn't take the Dodgers. I took the Boston Red Sox by mistake.
Yeah, there you go. The whole
and they did win.
Boston and Colorado. That's right.
I look up, I'm like, why did I win? I'm like, Boston. I got Boston.
That was the public parlay tonight. The old Red Sox versus the Rockies.
It's funny. I crossed my mind. I was like, but I like Boston, but I took them in game at minus 145. Evidently, I don't know what the hell I did, but I did it.
Best.
So, yeah, I didn't lose as much as I thought I lost.
Your mistake works for you. Me, I just click on the wrong golfer, and he's a loser. I wish it was Brian Campbell, but I hit the wrong guy. Hit Homa.
Yeah, once in a while, my stupidity pays off. Once in a while.
Mine never pays off.
Not often, though. Like, more often. When you bet as much as me and Cadmo, mistakes will be made sometimes. You know what I mean?
Big time.
Human error.
Like if you see, we're talking thousands of bets in a year, right? So you're sitting here, you're doing a show, and sometimes you hit the over instead of the under, and you don't realize it, or you
nice though.
You take the game.
Nice when you check it.
You take the game below.
Of course.
Well, once I famously took the Dodgers for the next day. It was at the bottom of the book. I clicked it. I'm like, man, I don't even have this game. I bet tomorrow's game already by accident.
They probably won, though, the next day, too, because they win so damn much.
Yeah,
right?
saved me that time. They actually lost that night that I didn't do it. So
they won the next night. I remember.
All right, PSG, Real Madrid, Mo. Who's going to win that one?
PSG. I think he's had better.
Cam, Chelsea, or Fluminense tomorrow for you?
I'll go with Chelsea for the drunk Brits. $13.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will win, PSG will win, and PSG will beat Chelsea in the final. Other than that, you're on your own later.